for those who still don't know me, Rock and Soul, I'm an house music DJ producer. The fact to see you here, guys, it means a lot for us because knowing that you're traveling around the world, sold out gigs, producing your great music in studio, for me to see you, for me and Kim, to see you here, guys, is a direct blessing drop from the sky. So thank you so much for coming. So, for sure, today I took the responsibility, with pleasure, to reconstruct the history of the dance music. It's not easy to talk about dance. Music genre was born in 1960. It involves so many names, history, music style, clubs. So that's why I will try to do that in a short period of time. So for sure, I will sacrifice some names I'm going to mention because otherwise it's going to take too long. But again, I will take more longer than usual, but at the end you see this, you will connect all the pieces of the puzzle. At the end you see this huge picture says dance music, house music. I will use my Italian English, I speak Sicilian, Italian, Spanish, English and Korean. Sometimes all those languages get stuck in my brain and I mess up with some pronunciation, but at the end I cannot guarantee the English will be good, but I can guarantee the passion will be so deep. So nothing, I think I told you everything. Pay attention, guys, because all those names I'm going to throw inside the conversation, the speech will be so many, with some of those who will feel familiar in terms of dance music and in terms of name. Everybody's ready?
Yeah.
Yes? Sure? Okay, very good. Let me get this closer right here. Okay, I'm supposed to start from 1960 specifically because during the year of Sybil Barton. Barton is the wife of Richard Barton, which is the one who started the very first nightclub in New York with the DJs Terry Noel, Francis Grasso, but that's more a commercial situation. We like to start from the very deep underground. In south of Italy, especially in Naples and Sicily, many people were well known with the nickname and not by last name. For the simple reason because the nickname is much easier to recognize the specific family. Like example, Shaka. Shaka is from the Arabic. Saka means the person who carries the waters. It's the type of job the Arabic made. So in Sicily we had for 800 years the Arabs. So we start to get the Arabic names. Can be also Umancuso, Davide Umancuso, that's Sicilian for Mancino. Mancino is the people who write with the left hand. So all those families, they write with the left hand. Signora Maria Occhipinti, that's Sicilian for Signora Maria Occhipinti for the Spanish Ojo, Pinto, which is the eyes, blue eyes or green eyes. Those families, everybody has the green eyes or blue eyes. Why I say this? Because once the Italians, south of Italy, we emigrated to America, many people they was allowed to keep the nickname, and some people was allowed to switch the last name because it was not easy to pronounce. One of the family who was arrived from Sicily was a Mancuso family, which is Catalin Mancuso. Catalin Mancuso Agidas. Agidas is the last name of the husband, but Catalin, she's the daughter of Franco Mancuso and Lucia Occhipinti. Those people, they settled in Utica, in New York. Catalin, she was working at the General Electric, which is a company connected with the NASA during the first flight to the moon. So Caterina, she was the mother of Davide Mancuso, Davide Mancuso, so Davide the one who writes with the left hand in terms of nickname. Mancuso, David was born during the 40s in Utica. Mancuso, for some problem, the family ended up to be abandoned or left in the orphanage. In the orphanage, the nun, she used to keep all the kids quiet, playing the music with the gramophone. So at that point, all the kids stopped messing around. David, during 25 years later, when he moved to Manhattan, in his apartment at 647 Broadway, he started his rent party, a way to collect some money to pay the rent. So, inspired from the rent party from Harlem. The little twist was in Harlem, they used to play the cassette with the boombox. David used to play the turntables, the records, because he remembered that when he was a child, that strange round plastic of producing the music, everybody was start to get together. That's why he was able to attract the people in this apartment. and the party was by invite only, was something very unique, something never seen before. So David basically didn't know he was going to start something that remained forever. David was not well known to be a big matching DJ because at that time the technology doesn't allow yet to do this type of art form. David was incredible, well known to create the magic in the air. Each song was played at the right moment of the party, to the point that people remember the specific song. And David, he was playing the song, putting the needles to empty round till the end. So he liked the people enjoy the full song. So no matter what, so it can be Jimi Hendrix, it can be Doors, it can be something underground. So at a certain point, a Jewish guy, which is Alex Rosner, credited to be the inventor of the stereo discotheque. So this guy right here is the one who invented the stereophonic audio for the nightclub. Alex Rosner invented the very first audio mixer for DJ. It was a convenient way to those people. When I say DJ, is just to let you know, is the person who stays behind the turntables, but at the time was not called DJ yet. Was just a person staying behind the turntables. Alex invented this convenient way to those people who was mixing playing the music from one record to other. Alex, once in a while, was sending his employees, which is Richard Long, to fix the sound system inside the apartment of the loft. So basically, Alex was attracted of the acoustic design of this apartment, the loft, to the point he was experimenting something first time ever. He was thinking it was good to separate the tweeter in the top part, as you see, the top part right there, you see the speakers, and the lower part, you see the subwoofer, the lower frequency. This changed the acoustic design of the loft to the point it became very warm, deep, powerful, almost the same when you throw a stone in the lake. My silly way of how I describe the sound from the speakers of the Dave Mancuso inspired so many sound designers, so many sound engineers to create a new sound system in the future. So, as you see right here, the loft inside, this is an apartment, it's not a commercial space. So this guy was able to do everything he wants because he doesn't need any cabaret license. It was free. Even kids was attending the party because every Wednesday the kids used to go there. You have to remove all the dead balloon to put a new one. So there was all kinds of people, young people, old, new generation, people not famous yet, so but everybody got inspiration from this party right here. It became a big family. Here we have a short footage of a guy who was attending the loft called Francois Kevorkian. Francois at the time was not famous yet, but later he became one of the most famous remixers to the point he was called from YouTube Depeche Mode to remix for him. So for them. So here we see a short speech of Francois Kevorkian, a short footage of the loft. You can catch the vibe of this apartment, and also a short speech of David Mancuso. David Mancuso. 1 second, right here. Yes.
For me, the loft has a little bit of an edge. It created a whole other different dimension. It was really, truly an inspiration. It was truly like the only thing that ever existed that was like that. And the loft has an immense contribution to a lot of what's going on right now.
This was a very private situation.
Yes, private situation, by invite only. So again, this guy was starting the very first by invite only, private situation, after hour, playing records, so from one record to other, so what's the beginning? And here we have another guy who was attending also the loft party. We talked about the first location, 647 Broadway in Manhattan, downtown. This guy later became a big name in music industry. I'm not going to use this guy because everybody know about these guys right here. Yes.
The music is just a reflection of the culture. It's a microcosm of what's actually happening out in the world. People started to ask for their voices to be heard. The women's movement, the gay movement, Black Power movement, all these things started to cross-pollinate each other, and we became comrades. And it played itself out in nightclubs. The loft made you feel welcome, regardless of where you were coming from, if you were gay, straight, black, white, Puerto Rican. It was the precursor the template for those clubs that would follow.
The Rogers of the Chics, everybody know this guy. The sound you heard in the background is a Soul Makossa by Manu Dibango. He's an African musician, strongly influenced by funk, soul, disco, everything. Think, in a recent period of time, even Michael Jackson got inspiration to do Wanna Be Starting Something. That's the song inspired by Soul Makossa. Dave Mancuso is the very first who was playing this record. We found this record in a street market for $1. So he was always searching for something unique, diverse from the music market. So that's why this song was programmed in the right moment of the party, to the point that nobody wants to buy Soul Makossa by Manu Dibango. So David was able to push the sales and make a record famous because it was played at the right moment of the party. Here we have another guy who was attending the Loft, not famous yet. Later became one of the godfather of house music, Tony Humphries. This guy was credited to be one of the very first DJ mixing two records at the same time live on radio, on Kiss FM, under the umbrella of Chic Pettibone. Here we have two more guys, which is on the left, on the right there, as Larry Levan, and then you see Frankie Knuckles. These two guys are not famous yet, who used to attend the party at the Loft. To think once in a while, both used to help Dave Mancuso to put all the decor. So think how early we're talking about. So this picture is just to show you where this guy, but this picture is taken in 1975 at Continental Bath, which is a gay sauna in Uptown, in 1975. Here we see Larry Levan and David Mancuso. And I virtually had to step out one moment from Manhattan. I had to go to Massachusetts during the 40s, because where was born Mel Charen. Mel Charen was born and grew up in a house listening the music of Duke Ellington, Frank Sinatra, all the music from the Western movies. So after, in adult age, when he moved to Manhattan, he got a job at ABC Studio, and then he opened up his record company called the West End Record, focused with the dance music, with the technology of that time. So Mel Charen, we used to attend also Fire Island, which is a gay sea place with a strong gay community today, where he met Michael Brody. Michael Brody, both they became not only life partners, but they also became partners in business. Fire Island, remember, Fire Island is also the place in 1971-72, there was a restaurant cafe called Sandpiper, where the first time the people was dancing the music without interruption, without DJ. Remember what I'm telling you, because you're going to connect this story with what you're going to listen later. So, and that's you're going to listen my voice later messing up with the pronunciation. I supposed to say Sandpiper, but I said Sandpaper. So remember this thing right here, it's Italian pronunciation. So when I say again before, Mel Charen and Michael Brody, they became life partners and also partners in business. That means because they took over a parking space in 84 King Street. This space became in 1977 the Paradise Garage. Paradise Garage was, the name is right there, a garage. Then was the very first time where the people who was listening the music louder in a very high quality sound system for 3 days non-stop in a club. There really was not a club, was a garage. So you see the line right there, and you see 84 King Street, which is the kind of gay logo, which is represent also the gay culture too. So the gay culture has a very big, strong contribution in dance music too, which is appreciated so much. This is the ramp. The ramp. Let me go back one moment. If you see right there, that's the entrance of the ramp. I met some people who was attending this part of the club, the party, and that was the most exciting part, because from this ramp right here, while they were online, they can feel. So the adrenaline was right there, people to jump into the vibe of the party, the Paradise Garage. And here we have the evolution of the idea from the sound system of Dave Mancuso at the Loft. Basically, you see again the tweeter disconnected with the rest of the speakers, hanging by the ceiling with the chain. You see right here another part of the speakers, which is the horn, and here you see the bass speakers, invented for from Richard Long, the one who was working for Alex Rosner. So he's the one who was fixing the speakers at Dave Mancuso. He got inspiration, so he got inspiration to the point to create something unique for the Pilot's Garage. Many sound engineers are today, they still getting inspiration from this guy right here. Think, we're still passing the torch through the years. So, here we see Larry Levan, that's the early stage of the DJing. That starting the kind of overlapping, blending the music, the beat matching. So you see the rotary mixer right here. This is the resident DJ Larry Levan, who was also attending the loft, helping Dave Mancuso to put to the balloon. So think the combination between early stage and the resident DJ of the Paradise Garage. Okay, so now these three guys right here, Paradise Garage is also a place that was embracing diverse form of art. Again, I have to step out from Paradise Garage and I have to go back in 1960. In St. Mark Place, there was a jazz club called the Dome. The Dome was a very unique space for jazz music. I'm not here to teach jazz music to somebody, just to tell you why jazz music is connected with dance music. The Dome, the resident musician was Tony Scott. Tony Scott was the one who mastered the bebop jazz on clarinet. The real name is Antonino Giuseppe Sciacca, but his good friend, Ben Webster, could not pronounce his name, so from Tony Scott, Antonino Sciacca, from Antonino Sciacca became, listen, your Sicilian name is too difficult to pronounce here in America. From Antonino Sciacca, your name will be Tony Scott. Everything was fixed. So, Tony Scott, since he was collaborating and working with so many giants in jazz, like example, Billie Holiday, Charlie Parker, you see Tony Scott right here, and also he was in a position to help the owner of Dome Club, which was a Polish club, a Polish guy, to book a new musician in jazz. Think, one night there was a competition, all the musicians, they used to have 5 minutes to play jazz in the club. One of those guys was Keith Jarrett. So Keith Jarrett was able to attract the attention of Tony Scott to the point that Tony was giving some gigs at the Dome, and then everybody knows who is Keith Jarrett. Tony is also credited to drag in jazz this guy right here, Bill Evans. Bill, as everybody knows, Bill was more in classical with all these scale. Tony, since he knows that jazz needs people like him, so he was playing some game, telling, hey, I don't have any keyboard player for my gigs. Can you fill up the space, please? Okay, Tony, I'll do for you. No, I don't like to play jazz. But then he fell in love, and then he became one of the greatest jazz musicians. Why I say this? Because Tony was entitled to help the owner of Dome Club to book new musician, or sometime also a musician already well known. So once the Dome was closed, so Andy Warhol took over and opened up Electric Circus, and then because he wants to keep alive the vibe of this club, the vibe of the neighborhood. That's why it became right away the home of artists in terms of musician, actors, fashion designer, and Fiorucci, the fashion designer, was there, and Tina Turner, Sylvester Stallone, Velvet Underground were there. So think, those giant was on this place. That's why Andy Warhol, he found inside the Paradise Garage kind of similar concept. That's why you see right here doing a body painting for the Jamaican artist Grace Jones for a performance at the Paradise Garage. Here we see Grace Jones and DJ Larry Levan. We will see again Grace Jones on the stage of the Paradise Garage Club. And we all know the t-shirt that we see around with the Keith Haring design right here. Here we have Maria Veronica Luisa Ciccone. Everybody knows as a Madonna. Madonna was doing the very first performance at the Paradise Garage. So you see the skirt and the jacket painted by Keith Haring right here. And here we have a short performance of Madonna at the Paradise Garage. That's the very first performance ever, performing Undress You Up. Yes, so now I know this song right here. Now I know the combination of sound. Pay attention, guys. Diana Ross, Nile Rodgers, Madonna, and DJ John Jellybean Benitez. As you see, the DJ figure is still there. No matter what kind of music, the DJ is there. These two guys right here are credited as the very first producers for Madonna. Sometimes Nile was credited as a keyboard player, and sometimes Jellybean was credited as a producer. He produced the Holiday of Madonna, or sometimes was opposite. Nile was producing the music for Madonna. So we are a very early career of Madonna. Here we have a short footage of Larry Levan after getting inspiration from David Mancuso in full effect at the Paradise Garage. It's controlling everything, music and life. It's a short bite of the Paradise Garage. When I say DJ John Jellybean Benitez, the one who was next to Madonna, that means he's the resident DJ of Fan House Club. We are now around 1982-83. Fan House was a destination point for dance music lovers. Most of them was Puerto Ricans and Italians. And also the destination point for many sound engineers, for many producers. They used to take their demo, that time with the reel-to-reel, to DJ John Jellybean Benitez to let him play on the dance floor to test the audio level in the sound system, and also to test the reaction of the people. That sometimes there's a little adjustment to do. So we can see this scenario in occasion of a video for a song produced by the New Order band, and inside we can see Arthur Baker. Remember all these names, guys? Arthur Baker, the later became the owner of a Shakedown studio where James Brown used to produce in there, David Bowie, Madonna, everybody was playing there. So here we see Arthur Baker going at the Fan House Club meeting DJ John Jellybean Benitez. DJ John Jellybean Benitez and behind Arthur Baker of Shakedown Studio. In the meantime, in Philadelphia, somebody else was blending new music, new sound, the disco sound, the dance music with the technology of that time, and start to incorporate orchestra, live elements. There's so many people can be credited as a progenitor of the Philly sound, and OJ's, we say Mother, Father, Sister, Brothers, we say Teddy Pendergrass, Gamble Enough, and also Vincent Montana Jr. was a Latin jazz salsa xylophone player. Parenthesis, I missed the opportunity to work with him because in 2013 I was coordinating with her daughter, Eileen Montana, via mail, just to have him aboard in my production, but he was not feeling well, but short later he passed away, so we still send a lot of love and gratitude to Maestro Vincent Montana Jr. We see here Maestro Vincent Montana with the wetsuit directing the orchestra, the South Soul Orchestra. When I say South Soul Orchestra, it means South Soul Record. South Soul Record is also the record company who released the very first 12-inch disco mix for DJ. As everybody knows, one song back then was printed in a 7-inch format. After, in 1975-76, we start to see one song printed in 12-inch in a large format. In short, you will see more, you will know more about this story right here. And here for now, we see Maestro Vincent Montana Jr. performing live with, in this case, the Mother, Father, Sister, Brother Orchestra. The song is called Love is the Message, released on South Soul Record, which has also became a big hit at the Paradise Garage and the Loft. And the early part of the song, you don't listen here because the song is pretty much short, but also the beginning The top part of the song inspired Madonna to do Vogue, but that's another story right there. We have two record companies, South Soul Record and West End Record. Two record companies focused with the dance music, again, with the technology of the time. Here we have Mel Sharon, the one who invented the one who started Paradise Garage, and also the owner of West End Record. And the other side is Tom Malcolm, the one who invented the 12-inch disco mix for DJ. I'm honored and lucky to say that Tom Malcolm released an interview for my radio show. Here, where you're gonna listen to my voice messing up with the pronunciation sandpaper, but supposed to be sandpiper. And here you can see Tom Malcolm tell you the history why the 12-inch disco mix came to the market. For sure, I removed the part of the Italian translation because this interview was released by phone from New York to Sicily, because it was more focused on the Italian audience. But this time I did a short portion of the interview where you can hear my English was so-so, but also in this case the tension was so deep to the point that I was able to attract the attention of the inventor of the 12-inch disco mix for DJ, Tom Malcolm, for New York Times radio show, Sicily, Italy. Hello, Tom Malcolm. Thank you so much for your precious interest during my radio show.
Well, I'm glad to be here, Ralph. Thank you.
Tom, also thank you so much for your precious mix you sent a time ago for New York Times exclusive mix show. This mix has been recorded this time ago at Sandpaper in New York City. But do you remember this gig you did?
Yes, but what I did was I made tapes for them. That was the first time, I guess somebody was making tapes. And then, see, I wasn't there. I gave them the tape, and then somebody would stand there, and it looked like a real DJ was playing, but it was my music playing.
You discovered the 12-inch. Talking about this history.
The reason the 12-inch happened was by accident. Normally, when you cut a reference disc or an acetate of a song you finish, you cut it to listen to it to see if that's the sound you want on the record, and then you approve it, and then they cut a master with that same EQ or equalization. Well, normally we cut it in spec, meaning if it's a 45, you cut it in a small 45. If it's an album or like an album, we cut a 12-inch. So they didn't have the 7-inch blanks. So I said, well, I wanted a reference disc of it. And so they cut the 12-inch disc, but they cut it within the 7-inch spec. And I said, it looks ridiculous having all this, this big 12-inch platter, and there's a tiny little thing for the grooves. I said, can we spread the grooves? And they said, yes, but we have to raise the levels. And I said, okay, go ahead. And that's really how the 12-inch started, was really by accident.
Tom, before you go, it's a pleasure for us if you introduce the first 12-inch of the history called So Much for Love.
Okay.
Okay, please, thank you.
All right. This is So Much for Love by The Moment of Truth.
Thank you so much, Tom.
All right, thank you, Ralph, my friend.
Amici, lui era in esclusiva mondiale Tom Malcolm, l'inventore del disco in formato mix per DJ per il New York Times, il radio mix show del vostro venerdì notte su Radio Time con il vostro Raffi DJ. Enjoy!
Hi, this is Tom Moulton, and you're listening to New York Times with Ralph DJ.
So now, let me play first another video where you can see the figure of the DJ still there, in no matter what kind of music. In any recording session, the DJ have to require to be there.
You got it.
John Ferrara is a producer, composer, and arranger for another label called Discomania. He's invited disc jockeys from prominent New York clubs to listen and advise.
So this is John Ferrara, so you already heard, and this guy with the mustache is Danny Pucciarelli, also in this case Napoletan Pucciariel, that's the Napoletan pronunciation. Pucciarelli is from Brooklyn for sure, with the Napoletan roots, responsible for the successful career of Sylvester. You Make Me Feel Mighty Real. I'm going to describe in short this picture, what happened this night at the gallery. Basically, Sylvester received the golden record to sell millions of copies of You Make Me Feel Mighty Real, but he said, you know what, this record is your record, because you're the one who helped me out with the support as a DJ and as a radio reporter, so this is for you. This is a short description of this picture up in 1979 at the Gallery Club, where Danny Pucciarelli was the resident DJ. Here we have Danny Pucciarelli playing at Cielo Club, New York City, Mel Sharon, founder of the West End Record and the founder of the Party's Garage, and Barry Liederer, who was also the DJ at the Fire Island too. And those who still don't know who is Sylvester, this video is going to help me out to tell you more. You all know this song, yeah? I just received a text message from Dan Pucciarelli. He cannot make it, but I remember Danny came 2 years ago at Armani. So at Armani, when we did the event, me and him at Armani. So Danny today feels very bad. I just received a message because I told him you have to come here because you are one of the godfather, the father, the progenitor of the DJ. But I just sent a text message say I don't feel well, so send hi to everybody. So Danny Pucciarelli say hi to everybody, saying sorry if he cannot be here with us. Here you see another picture of Danny Pucciarelli too. And here I think, let me see, is the part where I'm supposed to tell you more. Yeah. So here I'm going to combine the two unusual singers, I would say singers, Luther Vandross and Andrea Bocelli. Behind there is a mastermind who's still thinking dance.
I've sung with Whitney since she was a young girl. Her mother used to hire me and her to sing background with her on sessions that Sissy would contract. It was obvious from the first time we sang together that we sang really well together. And that B, this was somebody who was going to be heard from in a very huge and important and impactful way.
He wrote a note to me saying that you are going to be one of the greatest singers that ever lived. Really, and I still have it to this day.
Whenever we walk into a room together, we just start harmonizing and, it's like H2 and O in a test tube, immediate chemistry. Boom.
Yes, and then we see right here this guy, everybody knows, I don't need to tell you nothing. The only thing I will say is please pay attention to the credit you see on the screen. So here in few words, behind Andrea Bocelli, the very first song is you see before 1997, but that's the year when this album was released. But Con te partirò from Andrea Bocelli was released in 1995, produced by Mauro Malavasi. Mauro Malavasi is from Emilia Romagna, north of Italy, well known also to make ravioli, fettuccine, and tortellini. And Mauro Malavasi also credited to create this, we talk about 1995, but in 1980s, Mauro Malavasi is the founder of the Change Band with the lead singer Luther Vandross. Here you see the very first time the Change Band from combining the disco sound of the 1980s. This song right here helped the Party's Garage to shape the music of the club to the point it became garage music. If you scroll the music in some portal online where you buy the music, it's going to tell you techno, minimal, tribal, garage music. So it became a garage music because it's the sound played inside the party's garage. Here we have Claudio Cecchetto, one TV host, DJ. Probably I'm here today talking about the music in New York because this guy right here. I was 3-4 years old watching this guy on TV. I don't know what he was talking about, but I was fascinated to see Claudio Cecchetto talk about the music. And here we see Claudio Cecchetto introducing Change Band, and then you see right here, pay attention also the credit.
Un gruppo che va fortissimo nel disco action, pensate, nel giro di 3 settimane, sì, infatti è uscito 3 settimane fa, è riuscito ad arrivare alle primissime posizioni nel disco action americane, anche quelle inglesi, quelle tedesche, quindi ci sono anche i presupposti perché funzioni tantissimo anche da noi. Ve li voglio presentare, sono i Change.
Italian band behind and the partners in the front.
Flowers blooming, running blue, and the beauty seems to say it's a pleasure when you treasure all that's new and true and gay. Easy living and we're giving what we know we're dreaming of. We are one having fun walking in the glow of love. So I wanted to know, oh baby, hold me, caress me. We are the sweet okay. Can you feel it?
Okay, here we have another combination of artists. So you see the dance music is still embracing so many things, so many, no matter what kind of music genre. We have Mauro Malavasi, Davide Romani from Bologna. Through the years, they was incorporating diverse singers, the Vandross, also Jocelyn Brown later became one of the big house music singer. And you are in jazz, you're supposed to know Lisa Fischer. Lisa Fischer is a jazz musician. Later you will see jazz musician Lisa Fischer with other producer. And Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Jimmy Jam is the one who hosts the premiere in Los Angeles every year. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis are also the one who collaborated with The Change, with Mauro Malavasi and Davide Romani, but also they are the founder of The Sound of Blackness, lead singer Han Nesby. I think Kim and Keith, they met Ann Nesby when I took her at the Kid Party in Los Angeles. So Ann Nesby, the lead singer of The Sound of Blackness, founded by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Most of you know Ann Nesby also for my latest remix I did for her. So in the meantime, in Chicago, somebody, which is Robin Williams, came to New York and said, guys, I love what you're doing, big club, music, record company, sound system, everything beautiful. I'm doing the same thing in Chicago. I'm opening the Warehouse. I wanted the best. Now I wanted the best DJ. I know this best DJ is in New York, Larry Levan. I wanted you in my club. And Larry said, sorry, thank you for the offers and thank you for the consideration, but I stay at the Paradise Garage. Paradise Garage is my family, my home, my everything. You know what? Take this guy right here. Frankie Knuckles. He's my good friend. I know him since we went to the loft. He learned from me. He was watching me while I was mixing music. I think he's ready for you. Take him. So Frankie Knuckles took the chance to DJ in Chicago. This is a very important transition, guys. Pay attention. I will try to explain a very simple, in a simple way possible. As you know, the DJ, the electronic dance producer, we always like to experiment in something, combine something new. Sometimes good, sometimes less, but we still think to create something very unusual. Frankie Knuckles, basically what he was doing. So this is just to connect to what Alex said before, the Roland 1909. So basically, Frankie Knuckles, he was mixing the music, like example, Change, and playing the drum machine. So the people in the dance floor, for the first time, they was listening a well-known song with a different rhythm section, very energetic, synthetic, powerful, to the point that people was going to the record store and try to buy this music, but this music is not in the market yet, it doesn't exist. So finally somebody tried to put on vinyl in the market this experiment done by Frankie Knuckles in the DJ booth. So basically, there's so many people that be credited as the progenitors of house music. Why it's called the house music? Because it was played, was experimented at the warehouse club. So Marshall Jefferson, Curtis McLean, Ron Hardy, Jesse Sanders, Father Jack's Master Funk, so many, many people they are credited as the progenitors of house music. Is the inside part of the warehouse. Sorry for the coffee. Frankie Knuckles used to experiment that much to the point he gave credibility, visibility in the music market to the city of Chicago, and the city of Chicago responded with a gift to Frankie Knuckles, giving to a street his name, Frankie Knuckles Way. Can you believe that? From the underground to the mainstream right here. Here we have two guys right here. I'm not going to play the audio, otherwise it's going to take too long. So Marshall Jefferson and Curtis McLean with a hat were credited as progenitors of one of the very first house music track, and my longtime friend, very good friend, and that's why all the information I'm going to share with you are from the original source, nothing invented. And here in this video right here, you can listen Marshall Jefferson telling the story in short, why the house music track was born, one of those house music tracks. You can hear him telling in the opening speech, I was at the post office, because he was working in the post office in the morning, and that night he was doing DJ and producing music. After he quit, because he became one of the godfather of house music.
One day in the post office, I just heard this beat in my head. I said, man, this is a cut. So I told Curtis, I said, dude, we're going to the studio today. I played the chorus. I did drums. Oh, this is the hottest I've ever heard. Now let's get to the studio. We need an intro solo. I heard piano. That's it. That's magic, brother. That's magic. Then get the dude in, sing the lead vocals. Curtis McLean is the dude.
So Marshall handed me this piece of paper, and I'm reading the piece of paper, and I gotta have house music on that phone. So when I originally sang it, I sang it in an R&B voice.
Gotta have house music all night long. With that house music, you can't go wrong.
We stopped. Marshall's like, nah, dude. He's like, man, he's like, punch it.
I said, dude, you have to sing Gotta Have House on the drum roll.
Gotta have house music all night long. With that house music, you can't go wrong.
So let's keep going. Here we see another picture of me and Frankie Knuckles, the godfather of house music. I was no close friend of Frankie Knuckles, I want to be clear. I was good friend just enough to see him play in the club, and sometimes I was chatting with him, sometimes I was getting some information, so just enough to get inspiration from one of the real godfather of house music. Here you see me outside the Paradise Garage. The club was already closed. This building doesn't exist anymore. Through the years, many house music lovers, they used to come from all over the world to take the picture outside and inside, to the point that the Verizon got stressed out. You know what, let's move out. Too many people here, they demolition the building, but I say, you know what, I want to keep alive the roots of the dance music. What can I do? I will be there. And I grabbed the last piece of the rock of the Paradise Garage. So this place right here, this piece of rock is well preserved at home. So I have a piece of the roots of the house music in my house. How lucky I am. So here we see Tony Humphries, the one who was enjoying attending the Loft, talking about his experience at the Loft, located at the second location, 99 Prince Street, and also you see a small video between me and Tony sharing the DJ booth, just to share with you this happy moment of my career, DJ career.
DJs would-be musicians. I mean, using their creativity to the fullest. I mean, the board is your tool, the discs are your tool. It's just using what somebody else has done to try to create a program, perform to hear music.
99 Prince Street, and I was told it wasn't the original Loft, but that's the one I went to,
with my little rascal card that everybody wanted. Membership card, and I didn't realize how valuable that was till I, came out the train station. Everybody was like, yo, man, can I go with you? Can I go with you? Everybody was like trying to get on this card, like, damn, what kind of card is jeez, yo, man, I need $10, man, yo, I gotta go with you again. No, you, shit. But, it was pretty valuable, I'll never forget it.
Was that influential?
Sure, absolutely. Definitely. I mean, it changed my whole attitude from commercial radio music or whatever I bought at first to, the basis of what I do now, which is a whole wide range of, music or whatever. So David gets, the hat off definitely for me. I mean, everyone's into Levan. I love Levan. I love the garage, but the Lord did it to me first. Definitely.
Through the years, many people that wants to the sound of Tony Humphries, even once called as a remixer for Billie Holiday. So you right here, Tony Humphries remixed Billie Holiday, remixed and reimagined it. Also, everybody wants the sound of Frankie Knuckles, Whitney Houston, $1 Million Bill, Frankie Knuckles remix. Here with Nina Simone wants the remix after, for sure, she passed away. Nina Simone, somebody, the record company wants the sound of Tony Humphries to remix Nina Simone. So the jazz music called house music. House music feel comfortable inside the jazz. So we're still working together. They still call it house music, but inside there's so many things. So I don't know if it's right to call house music. It can be called everything. So here you see the sound of blackness right here, the pressure, Frankie Knuckles remix too. And in 1978, in Italy, Torino, ad Ortisei, Giorgio Moroder was fusing the sound from the mini moog and the disco sound to the point, just to go back to what I said before, experimenting, creating the sound of the future. Here you see also a picture of the three inventors, which is Frankie Knuckles, Tom Malton, and Giorgio Moroder.
One day we thought, why don't we do something like possible sound of the future? And so I came up with the idea of doing everything with a synthesizer. Not only the sounds, but creating the sound of a bass, of a kick, of a snare, of a hi-hat, of all kind of percussion. And I think that was the sound which drove this song. And then of course with the voice of Donna, which made it really central. Back in the last 5, 6, 7 years, where the EDM came up and they were like the house, and a lot of those EDM songs are based on, I'm not saying on I Feel Love, but of the feel of I Feel Love, that sequencing and that arpeggio stuff, which you hear it still now. It's now 40 years after I Feel Love came out, and we're still talking about it. My name is Giovanni Giorgio, but everybody calls me Giorgio.
So there is another, during the recent period of time, we're almost finished. In 1990, more DJs, they think to incorporate more sound. Here, two of those are masters at work, which is Louis Vega, which is the nephew of actor Juan Perez, Hector Lavoe, which is the salsa singer, one of the members of the Funny All Stars. And Kenny Dopp, which is a now hip-hop DJ from Brooklyn. Here you see a combination of Tito Puente. You see also George Benson surprised after he saw them changing the meaning of his song. You see also Steve Touré, which is the father of our dear friend Andromeda Touré. So he was working for them too. And then at the end you see another portion of my happy moment of my career with me and Louis Vega playing that Cielo, where Danny Pucciarelli used to play. You saw the picture before.
I came to the studio to a track that they played for me. It was very, very funky. I was trying to stay out of the way. And then when I picked up the guitar, somehow or another I got all involved. You know, so.
This in the beginning section, can it all?
I knew he was going to change things, but I didn't know he was going to change it like that.
We sold about 75 copies in the first 3 hours.
Well, I think the whole Latin scene is thriving. And Shoshana, you know, involves some of the great beat that we use in the more Latin blues. We had Elton, Tito Puente, David Valentin. We sing one section, Steve Touré, Dave Sanchez, Taisa Bula, taking a solo at the end.
It's world dance music. And it's got that 70s sound to it too as well, which is the live sound. All the music is
You can see also Dave Darlington in studio.
Which is very important. And fortunately, we got back to that.
Lisa Fisher in jazz. Dave Darlington, Louis Vega.
A lot of different dreams. We always wanted to make a record and we could put all kinds of music together. And there you have hip hop, and then you have like a disco flavor. You have salsa music, Latin jazz, funk, soul, hip hop. You know, everything's in there.
Those two guys, the geniuses, very creative, a beautiful future. I'll be retired and they're taking over.
This is the very last video, so take me to the end of this speech. I don't know if it was taking too long, but I cannot sacrifice any little piece of this puzzle right here, because for us, we have a deep devotion for the dance music, so sacrificing a little piece will be a sin. So that's why here you see the classical, an orchestra called the song of Frankie Knuckles, a tribute. In few words, the house music song went orchestral. The very first part of the song, you will listen to the song produced by Frankie Knuckles called Your Love, 1987 on Trax Records Chicago, and then you see an orchestra play a tribute to an electronic sound. It's incredible, but that's the truth right there. The arpeggio from Giorgio Moroder, the rhythmic section from the drum machine, the rhythmic section very circular. This is the standing ovation of the people. This is where we come from. that's why I want to make sure that the people, they don't think we get stuck in the past. We like to see where we come from. Everything that I have a story. We gotta know where we come from so we know where we're going. We don't get stuck in the past. We just see where we come from, so that's why today we're still embracing a new technology on the sound of today. Somebody passed the torch to us, and I take it, we take it, and we try to pass the torch to somebody else. Because we live in an era where the DJ is more focused on the mixing and not focused to let the people dancing. If you see why, because we live in an era where everything has to be introduced in 1 minute sound, some sample, 1 minute video, otherwise we don't get the attention of the audience. I say, you know what, stop, nobody has time, I will do this tonight. That's why what I'm doing tonight. Somebody told me, how can I know if a sound, dance track is made for somebody who really knows the music? Simple. Play the song and close your eyes. If the song it doesn't tell you nothing, that means it's played only from somebody who knows the machine, the studio equipment. Well known, great skill, but no passion. But if you close your eyes and you think that the song is trying to tell you something, that means it's produced from somebody who really tried to tell you a story, try to pass the torch to you. I don't need to tell you nothing else. I think I told you everything from your heart and soul. Thank you for listening. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think we should give Raph another round of applause. I don't think I could have gotten that all together. Dedication.